I'm Stephanie Herrera. I am an actor, writer, producer, and all-around great entertainer, and I support the Keith Andrew Network. He is awesome. He is not a jerk at all. He makes you feel comfortable, and he knows his stuff.
And doing their thing. And it's like wearing a big garbage can on your head. I can't even breathe under there. You can wear yours if you like or take it off.
This is not good for asthmatics. Oh my god.
It's funny you mentioned that. I'm starting to get a headache.
Woo!
All that hot air. A lot of people say I blow a lot of hot air, so.
Exactly. I don't know how these actors do it in these masks and makeup.
That's true. They probably have like a little fan underneath or something.
They do, right? The expensive ones.
So like I said, the whole month, this is a special Keith Andrew Network 550. The whole month will be a Halloween theme. And look, I have my own lightsaber.
Nice.
So the whole month is a Halloween theme. Every single person who I interview for the whole month of October gets to dress up, do their thing, have fun. That's what we do on the Keith Andrew Network. Have fun, make a difference in someone's life. You're a sweetheart for helping me with this. I'm here as a talented and beautiful Miss Stephanie. I just want to say thank you for putting up with me once again, and I'm very thankful having you on the show again.
Thank you so much, Keith. Yeah, it is a delight. You are an inspiration. I think you're doing more than, can I say, is expected of you, and more so than some people like myself in the entertainment business, particularly the actors. We always hear the term, if you're not booking anything, then you should be doing something. Make your own projects, get out there and make, and most of us just sit on our asses doing nothing. So you are even going far and beyond what an average actor is supposed to do. So I applaud you, and I'm a huge supporter of the Keith Andrew Network.
No, absolutely. Now you can see my top button's done because I want to look for my bin. And, you had an effect on me. And it's a good effect. I have a bin in my closet, like different drawers, what to sell at Target, Home Depot. I got pissed because, irony about being pissed. I got pissed on it. So as I was going through the drawer, I'm like, shit, I have to go out to my hands. And where the hell is all my Halloween stuff? So after we're done, I'm going to take it all out. I'm going to throw out the most part. And like I said, anything can happen live, so I'm just going to move his stuff so nothing gets cut off. So basically, I work at Walmart. So, yeah, I don't have a discount yet. So I saw this, and I'm like, that's cool. This is going to be, you can't even see me. This is going to be my centerpiece. Then we have my dragon head since 2010.
Nice.
Real dusty. But I need to buy a brush. This I got when I was at Target. So we have Spencer's in the mall, Target, Walmart, and over here, not on the camera, you can see everything.
Yep.
But, maybe I can just move it afterwards. I don't want it to be cut off or anything. And there goes that. I also got this. Don't ask me why, I thought it looked cool. Actually, thinking about it, I will put this here. I actually need a bigger studio.
Yes,
right?
you do.
That looks fine. I can always move things around. I tried making it look nice.
It looks, you are totally in the Hollywood spirit here. It's perfect. I said Hollywood, Halloween Hollywood spirit. I should correct myself. Yeah, no, this is obvious. You've decorated for this special occasion.
And now, for people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, if you picked it up from my speech patterns, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there. Let me just do that one more time because I'm just repeating myself. The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And you should prove that you can still amount to something. That's hard to multitask, if you can see. I'm just trying to make you laugh.
It's a whole choreography. I love it.
But it's a Halloween theme. Next month for Thanksgiving, I might do something for that. But I'm not really a big Columbus person. I think he's a murderer. So we're celebrating a holiday on that. Yeah. Why you want to celebrate Thanksgiving where a guy basically wiped out a race?
Yeah.
Long story about that. And a Christmas one, I may have like a Christmas tree. So the big holidays, Christmas, I guess Thanksgiving is a big one. But Christmas and Halloween are my favorites.
Yeah.
It's a nice time of the year to do something different. But this is not about me. And I know this is about you. And it's been a year and a half, 2 years.
Something like that since
and
we last spoke.
I would love to catch up with you. It's been too long.
I agree. I'm trying to think of when the last time, what I was working on the last time. I remember my setup was different here. I don't know, what have I been doing? A couple things. I'm working at, I've kind of decided that it is time as an actor to leave the non-union world and go into union. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, what have I seen you in anything? I'm like, no, because it's all non-union. Union are the TV shows, the movies that you see. I do a lot of indie stuff. I mean, I'm on television shows that are on things like Discovery Channel and whatnot, but they're reenactment shows and whatnot. So right now I'm working towards going the union route. I've been putting it off because there's a lot of work non-union, so I'm a working actor, which is very unfortunate that way. But in the meantime, just been doing some fun stuff. I have for anyone in Canada, they'll remember some morning show hosts, Humble and Fred, and I met through another radio show. I was being interviewed, and I met this woman. I'm like, God, she's like, you look familiar. I'm like, your voice is driving me crazy. I know your voice. And she used to be the producer on Humble and Fred. Turns out she lives 20 minutes from me now. She's a mom as well, raising kids. And I said, what are you going to do now that you're here and from home? And she said, I really want to start a podcast. And I said, I'll do it with you. And she said, really? So we record here in my bedroom once a week, Mondays. We are found on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, whatever you listen to. We have a podcast called Eileen and Steph, Everything's Fine, is our show, because we're moms and we are bred to say that no matter what chaos is in the world. And we talk about everything from obviously our kids, because we're mom, kids, marriage. We go into sex, politics, all the stuff on Facebook, the pop culture stuff. We go and we rip it apart. And then at the end, we always, everything's fine. Everything will turn out. So that's a fun one that we're doing weekly, which is sort of our newest, my newest endeavor that I'm doing regularly, which is kind of fun. Trying to think of what else I've been doing. I don't know. I don't know if I talked about my book last time. I don't know if it was published, but I have I'm a published author. My book.
Can I have one?
Yeah, absolutely. I should send you one. So the book is called The 10 Commandments of Improvising, and this is one of my improv students actually playing Moses here, going, ooh, with the 10 Commandments. So this is of improvising. What's great about it, it's sort of like everything I've learned about improv, because that's my forte, that's my specialty, is improv acting. And so this is the 10 golden rules of improv, which is kind of fun. My good friend Colin Mockery from Whose Line Is It Anyway wrote the foreword. There's a little picture of him up in the corner. So he wrote a really kind foreword to the book. It's a lot of fun, but it's the editors that I got to look at it, neither of them are actors. Neither of them have even taken improv classes. And they said, wow, this stuff could really work for life in general. And I said, yeah, that's kind of the trick. I always like to trick people into learning something because they're having so much fun. They don't realize they've actually learned something. So it's a nice, it's a very quick read and it's a very fun read. Each chapter starts where I am writing in the voice of the improv god, giving thou shalt, the information, and then I go back into my regular voice explaining the rule and examples and things like that. And at the end, there's like games at the end of the book and things that people can utilize. So those are two of the big kind of things. And because I'm from Canada, so if anyone's out in this sort of Hood, I'm in Durham Region, which is east of Toronto in Ontario. I am also a co-producer of the 905 Comedy Festival, and that's happening in the last November 23rd and 24th. So I'll do that shout out right now. 905 Comedy Fest is the website, and we do a charity event, but it's mostly bringing in some big name comedian stand-up comedy into Durham Region to liven up our town and to give people the opportunity to see some great talent out here, some comedy. Bring it here.
Well, I do have a bunch of questions, and as
Sure.
our friendship gets closer, and I hope it does, and you feel the same way, my personality has got to open more, so I'm a little more sarcastic and more outgoing.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm just like, okay, what should I say? Oh, I don't want to say this. I don't want you to think I'm a creep or something. So as you're opening up more, and I'll open up more. It's building more of a
I'm an
tight
open
bond.
book already, Keith. Don't worry about me. I've never been shy in my life. You go ahead.
It's funny you should mention that. I do want to talk to you off the air about it, but it's up to you. You want me to mention it now? I can mention it now.
Sure. What's up?
I want to hire you to write my book.
Oh my God. Dude, Keith, this is the tiny. Look how tiny that is. That took me like 5 years. I'm the worst. If I don't have a deadline, I'm the worst. What? You should write your book. What are you talking about?
What if I give you a perfect example? Well, first off, before we get to the book, I do want to mention about imports from Canada. We're great entertainers. I love Canada. I want to move there. Hey, maybe we can become neighbors. You can show me around. I do want to visit Canada at some point. Do you like Off the Record with Michael Landsberg?
I don't think I've seen it.
I will send you the video. I promise I will do it.
Okay.
He basically has Off the Records, Michael Landsberg. He interviews sports stars. He's a big Canadian star like yourself.
Okay.
He interviews all these people. He mostly interviews wrestlers. And he asks some hard questions. My favorite interview, I'm trying to get him back on the show for part 2. He was coaching me. Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Nice.
And, but no, something about Canadians I just really like. You know, you guys are just upbeat.
We're pretty friendly. We get told that a lot.
Right.
I think we also, because we don't have the huge population, even though we're bigger than America, we don't have your population. So we just feels, even when you're in a crowded city like Toronto, it's not even near the amount of people that are in New York City, for example. So it's so I think the population of Canada can fit in California. Like it's something like that is mind blowing how few people we actually are, even though we are like enormous. So I think it just makes us a little bit calmer because we're not crawling all over each other per se, and we also have to work a little bit harder because there's only so many productions, like in acting, there's only so many casting directors. Everyone knows everybody here, so it's hard to get away with being a jerk in a lot of things. There's only so many corporations you can work for. It's a lot smaller. When you're in here, you think you're overwhelmed and it's a lot, but when you really look at the numbers, word spreads.
It's like if you fart the wrong way, people know that.
Yeah, exactly. Where I've heard people, like, you'll never run into the same person twice in New York. I run into my friends in Toronto all the time. I'm like, I haven't seen you in a couple of years. Like, and to me, it's not a big surprise to run into somebody you know in Toronto. And then when you get out of Toronto, like I am in Durham Region, we're so calm because we don't even barely honk at each other because the chances are you're going to pull into the same grocery store and you have to face each other. So there's no anonymity here. There's not an anonymous person here. Everyone's right in your face constantly. So
it's nice. It sounds like Long Island, though. Long Island, my dad hated it because the houses were so close together. If you fart or sneeze the wrong way, your neighbor knows about it. So, yeah, I can relate to that. Well, my dad can relate to that.
Yeah.
But, moving to Toronto, I love the name Toronto. It's on my things to do list. But,
nice.
While on the subject, would it... And we can get to that one second, but I know you're throwing so much at me, Tom. I want to talk to you about your book, but then this one's really we're on anything goes. I have no filter. First question, what is the process of becoming a Canadian citizen? Because I do get disability money, and I am handicapped.
Right.
And is that a big red flag for me to become a Canadian citizen?
I don't think so. I know, like, I've been sort of dabbling, actually doing the opposite. I've been looking into getting a visa or a green card, and I hear it's so hard to become an American citizen. But it seems like it's a lot easier from what I've heard. I've never had a friend go through the process of becoming Canadian, but from what I've heard, it's much more open. We just have more of that policy of bringing people in. I don't think anything hinders anybody from coming in other than a criminal record. That's the only thing that would ever be in the way. A lot of people come specifically to Canada because we have our free healthcare. It's not free. I do in quotes because we do pay taxes. So our taxes are very high because we have this free healthcare. It's not free. And things like our blue boxes, like our recycling gets picked up at the corner. We just bring our boxes out. It gets picked up. That comes through our taxes. So we have one of the highest tax rates. So a lot of people come, though, because we have these things like healthcare. So people with that have medical issues will actually move, and then we take care of them. Like, that's how I sort of understand it. I'm not a government person whatsoever. So if any government person is out there, might go, "What are you saying?" But I know a lot of people have come in from around the world because, like, for example, Sick Kids has some of the top pediatricians, surgeons, and doctors in the world. So people come from other countries to be able to get medical attention here in Canada. So I think when it comes to a disability, that's like meh. Like, it's not, oh, you don't need like a heart transplant or like all of these things that they do that they're bringing people in for specifically. I don't think that would be an issue. And why do you want to move? Is this the whole Trump thing?
Well, I'm so tired of Trump. The great orange or whatever, or the big great pumpkin or whatever the hell you want to call him. It's so wonderful, so big. But
it's huge. Yes.
That's what I said. My paycheck's not big. It's huge.
Oh, God.
I'm so tired of that. But I want to do something different in my life. And I feel if I move, to a different place, I can start over. I can reinvent myself.
Interesting.
And I just feel like Canada might be an option for me. But a lot of people say you collect disability, they don't want you freeloading off of them. Are you capable of living on your own? So it's just one of those things. I do want to go to Canada, but at the same time, it's kind of like, do they want you?
Right. Now, that's a good question. I mean, I work a lot with people that work, I'm the artistic director, I think I mentioned last time, of Durham Improv, which is a not-for-profit. And our focus is on bringing the arts to, what do you want to call them, marginalized people, or because we do a little of it. I work with, specifically myself, work with people, adults with special needs, and then we also have a division where we work with women and children at abuse shelters. So basically, the people that everyone goes, wait a minute, what, you're giving them improv and movie making classes? It boggles them. And then when they see the results, the confidence boosting, the interpersonal skills you gain from doing this kind of stuff is amazing. I work closely with people in the sort of, because I only hear it from the other side where they're like, the government is not helping the people with special needs very much. I only see it from this sort of surface where I go into these centers. Community Living is an organization that has, it's like, it's because we go to I think it's 18. I don't know if it's the same as States. At about 18, if you are in a special needs program, at 18, they kick you out. It's like, too bad you're on your own now. Yeah. That's what they do in Canada. So Community Living is, again, a not-for-profit charity organization that has the ability of, you can drop off your adult child with special needs, and then they have programs all day. So they have bowling, they have crafts, they have the snack time. Like, it's basically like a school. And then my position is once a week I come in, and they love my movie-making program where they write it, they star in it. All I'm doing is directing and editing. That's all they do. And they make these incredible movies. They're touching, they're funny, and that's what I do. So all of these people come in and do Zumba and like whatever the participants want to do. So that kind of thing, for my perspective, is there is something available. It's more when it's a special need that really takes a lot of like, I have friends that have kids on the spectrum of autism.
Yeah.
And she's always been so frustrated because of that lack of support from the government after 18, where it's sort of like, they just kind of, all they can do is go on disability because it's very hard for them to get education, because after a certain level, they're like, too bad, it's not our problem anymore. So community living fills a gap, which is really great. All of the residents that are, not residents, but the participants in the program Community Living, when I talk to them, they talk about their jobs. They've got job placements. Most of them are like, hostessing at restaurants or cleaning at the local gym, or like they all have jobs, which is kind of cool. So it's just a nice transitional place for them to do activities or to work. And most of them are independent too, which is kind of cool. So I don't know. I mean, I could probably, like, after I could give you the contact and you can chat with people. But I think more than anything, come and visit and see if you like it, because that's my big thing. I haven't made the leap to go to LA because a part of me is like, I don't know if I'm going to like it. Right. I want to go because there's no snow. I like the concept that you throw a rock and you can hit a producer. I love that concept that everybody around is there to make movies and television. But the energy, the pollution, everything about it that makes me kind of go, uh-oh. So go and like come here and stay and visit. And you might even find that you might come to Toronto, but then take a tour like over to Hamilton and be like, I like it here better. Like there's pockets or different provinces. I mean, I haven't seen all of Canada. I don't know how much of the states of the United States that you've seen. But I think I've seen more of America than I have of Canada, to tell you the truth. I've kind of been on either end of Canada, and that's about. I've never been in the middle of Canada. I've never been to Alberta, BC, or Winnipeg, all those like middle provinces. I've never been. Not that Winnipeg's a province. Oh my God, all the Canadians are like shaking their head. Yeah. So, like, how much of America have you seen?
For me, I have seen. Let's see, pretty much New York. My brother went to Potsdam, so I seen that. My other brother went to Plattsburgh. So I seen Potsdam, a little bit of Potsdam, Plattsburgh. I drove past Albany, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Long Island, drove through New Jersey, and that's really about it. I do want to take a tour.
So you haven't been over on the other coast at all? You haven't been in the southern states or any of that?
I have no reason to go to the southern states.
You're giving up on your country there. You've only been to like 2 states. Yeah, there's a lot of really, really great areas. My mom, I was just, a good friend of mine is on the new Star Trek. I don't know if you are a Trekker at all, or a Star Trek fan. Are you? Yes. And have you seen the new Star Trek? Discovery? Have you watched it yet?
I heard of it, but I haven't. I've been focusing on my talk show. So
yeah, so there you go. So it's on now. It's filmed here in Toronto. You can't even tell the budget, the money they put into it is unbelievable. And I have a friend that plays a Vulcan on it, so he started getting asked to go to different Star Trek conventions. So I went and filmed it. I'm making a little documentary about him because that is winning the lottery for an actor, because once you're on Star Trek, you are completely embraced in this culture. Not so with Star Wars. Going back to the Darth Vader, Star Wars, if you notice, as soon as somebody is in a Star Wars movie, it is picked apart. They're like, oh, they ruined Star Wars. Like, there are all these things about it. There's so much negativity around Star Wars because it is the trilogy, the precious 3 that no one can touch. But with Star Trek, doesn't matter what role it is, how stupid it is. They're like, welcome to the family. And he didn't believe me because I've already noticed the difference of the two. And I got to videotape him really getting embraced just because he's got this role, and the love, the outpouring. And what's really kind of cool about Star Trek, and it started turning more into that, is the acceptance within their culture. And they go back to Gene Roddenberry. He's like this god for them. He's like, hits his vision that no matter what gender, what race, what life form, what color, what sexual orientation, doesn't matter what you are completely accepted in the Gene Roddenberry universe. So that's why people can be themselves, and people that feel really outside of society, whether it's their gender or their orientation or their ability or whatever it is, when they go to Star Trek, no, it's gone. It's just your person to person. Or your creature to creature. Like, there are people, like, one woman said it to me, which blew me away. She said, I never fit in. And then when she learned about Klingons, she went, oh, those are my people. And I'm thinking, they're a made up people. But she puts everything on and she's herself and she's in a tribe and everyone surrounds her with love. She doesn't get that out in the real world. She's weird. So that kind of stuff is just wow. So that's it. It's a a pat on the back to Star Trek of what they do. So the last one we went to was in Washington D.C. I'm getting back to my point. I realized where I was going. And Washington D.C. I told my mom I was going, and she said, "Oh my God, that's my favorite place in all of America." And she's seen a lot. And it's true. You go, and it's just outside of Washington D.C. We were in oh God, where were we? It'll come to me. Where we're just outside, and it was just stunning and beautiful, and everyone's so friendly. And then you get into Washington, D.C. with all of this incredible history, and we ran around and took pictures of monuments, and you could just feel the history, and it's all contained within, I think they call it the mile, what is it called? It's this square mile. You can go to all of the main monuments and stuff. So I would say take a trip to Washington, D.C., like see a little bit more, spread your wings a bit in America first, because you'll be surprised. It's pretty amazing. I want to see more of America too, big time. It's just that my work is in LA, so I got to go there.
Yeah, you help me, I help you.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to talk to you about your book and social media, then I'm going to pass it over to you.
Vanessa Lina. Adrian Lalo. I'm Cynthia Bass today. I'm Sonia Fisher. This is Shane Smith. My name is Alexandra Bowie. My name is Amelia Clover. Hi, I'm Amy Linden.
Hi, I'm Anita Nicole Brown.
Meg Green.
Hi, my name is Asata Caldwell. Hi, everybody. I'm Brooke from
Hi, I'm Bryn Bird.
Hi, I'm Casey Dunn.
Hi, it's Cassandra Kavinsky.
Hi, I'm Christina Frieza.
I'm Cindy Hogan. I'm Courtney Sinello. Hi, I'm Daisy.
My name is Deborah Jane East.
Hi, my name is Danielle Marcia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Victoria London.
Hi, I'm Heather Crona.
Hi, I'm Heather Callahan Stevens.
Hi, I'm Jay Nicole Ralph.
My name is Jamie Patrell.
My name is Turi. My name is Julia Brankovich.
Kathleen Wills.
Kimberly Amato.
Hi, my name is Laura Putton.
Hi, I'm Laura Chapanis. Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Damas.
This is Michelle Mupo, a.k.a. Fuchsia. I'm Rachel Olivera.
Hi, my name is Sarah Joy Mount.
Hi, I'm Susan Winder.
Hi, everyone. This is Venus Leone.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Tanner.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Herrera, and I was just on the Keith Andrew Network. It was tons of fun. We used up all our time and then some. I really recommend this show, and try to be a guest on Keith's show. It was super fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 550. I'm here with the beautiful and talented and a good friend, Ms. Stephanie. I just want to say thank you for sticking with us. What's the last 8 minutes and counting? I'm going to ask you the 2 hard-hitting questions, and I'm going to pass it over to you. You can ask me anything you like. But the first question is, we mentioned your book. What can you tell us about your book? And what was the process did you take?
The book was something that I do a lot of speaking engagements and corporate events. And one of the questions they always ask me is, oh, do you have a book to sell? And I'm like, no. And that kept getting brought up. And then finally I was like, yeah, why don't I have a book? And I kept teaching the same things over and over again, or finding things that I would watch in improv or listen to other teachers. I'm like, I don't agree with that kind of teaching. So I started writing it down. And then I decided to kind of give myself a goal. There was a big event I was going to be doing. And I said, if I can get my book done by then, that would be fantastic. I had a friend that has a publishing company. So that was right here locally. That was a great price. So I could print my own books. So I wanted to touch on things that people weren't talking about. Like, for example, there's a stereotype, a double standard in improv that I talk about, and I call it the chapter is thou shalt, because it's the 10 Commandments of improvising. Thou shalt embrace the double standard, because there are just certain things that women can get away with in improv and men can get away with, and it's just, and really laying it out on the table. So the reason I did it was for money. The reason I finally finished Motivator was money, and then it was just a matter of sitting down, writing my thoughts out, and then the best thing you can do is go to an editor. I went to 2. I went to one editor who just kind of cleaned it up, really took a look at some things, helped me format, and then I went to a professional, the next echelon, up from a friend of mine who has published book. He's a New York bestselling author, Nicholas Boothman. He said, well, my editor has a spot available. I just was on the phone with her, called her up immediately, and she said, yeah, I can take you on. And she was really giving me dates. And then she said, you need a glossary. You need this. And she kept getting me to even write more. So working with a good editor, I think, is a key. Somebody who's really going to know what to do because she's got fresh eyes too. So if she doesn't understand what you're saying, she's going to say, I don't know what you're saying. Explain it to me and then write it back, kind of thing. So she was great. Yeah. Worth her salt.
You can hook me up. I'm always looking for someone to help me with it.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
The idea I've been thinking about is I recently looked at a book over at Walmart. It said St. Martin's Press. So I was thinking about contacting St. Martin's Press or what is the other one? Exuberous, saying, look, I have a disability. I have a story I want to tell. Is there a way we can sit down, over the phone, over Skype, and I can dictate to you and tell you my story, and you can write it for me?
That's a good idea. You know what we should do is we should try to get you and Zach Anner together, because it's not like he can type. I don't think he said he typed. I think he did the same thing. He sort of dictated, and then they wrote it. And this book is so much bigger than mine. Zach Anner wrote this huge book, and it's absolutely fantastic. So let's see if we can connect you with him, because he's got millions of followers. He is, he's got this show on Facebook. He's got a published book. That's somebody that'll be our mission, Keith, is to try to get you connected with him and say, I'm doing what you're doing. I just want to take it to the next level. How did you do that? And I'm sure he'll totally take you under his wing. Why not? What's he doing? He wouldn't be a snob. Come on, Zach Anner, I'm calling you out.
I did write a book on my own. He said, mention it, do it yourself. And I did do it myself. It was, Now, today's book, what I'm working on, and give you an example. I was coming up with these great names, ambition, dream, work, and ambition. It's like, it's been done. And I mentioned a number name, it's been done. So I was talking to my dad, and I got annoyed, and I said, does it really matter? He said, I don't know if he was being sarcastic, but my dad said, there you go, you have a title of your book. What? Does it really matter? So that's what I've been promoting. KeithAndrewNetWork. Does it really matter? Written by Keith Andrew.
Yeah. No, I kind of like that, because that really touches on everything you're talking about. Does a disability really matter? Does, kind of everything about that you're doing kind of sums that up. All the crap that happens, does it really matter, or is it about what you're contributing, kind of thing? I think that's a great one.
Yeah, I appreciate it. In the very first book that I wrote two.
You wrote two?
I published two, but I don't announce the second one because that's a mistake. It was called Are People Smart or Dumb or Ignorant by Keith Andrew. And so basically I just took some quotes from George Carlin, Dennis Leary, but I would add on to it. So George Carlin's people are smart, people are stupid. Then I would add something to that quote. And I was like, well, I can't take credit for it because I'm just taking their lines for it. So I just basically forgot about it. I just move on. The very first book I had, and don't mind me, I'm going to put this over on the side. First one I actually did was called When You Overcome Controversy, Dreams Do Come True, Even If You Have a Learning Disability.
Hi.
And a lot of people said, they made fun of me for this, how you spell title. And I thought at the time was Tittle.
Oh.
And they're said, that's tittle. So the title of the book, that was one. The other one was controversy. You can't overcome controversy. And so that's another thing they were writing in my ass about. And so it was kind of okay. So, and I wanted the book you have, if you can hold it up real fast, I can give you an example. Is your book a hard copy or soft copy?
No, soft. So it's a paperback, yep.
Alright, so imagine that book, but 10 times bigger and wider. So it looked like a damn magazine. And I was kind of what is this? And there were spelling errors. I was supposed to, because I did it by myself.
Yeah.
I said, on January 24th, I was supposed to say I was raised. I was supposed to say I was born. It says I rised. So
whichever I was raised, or oh dear.
My mom went to Camille College. Instead of saying Camille College, it said your mom went to comedy college.
Oh.
So if it was meant to be a joke, yeah, it was funny. But I told Exilbers, pull it from Amazon. It's really bad. I don't want to be seen because this is supposed to mean a lot. I used my brother for an inspiration. He thinks I'm an ass kisser. So now we're kind of like doing a competition. He was recently wrote it into a newspaper. And I didn't tell you, I was actually wrote in the Orange County Post.
Nice.
I send you the website when it comes out, my article. But
Sure.
I was written about in the Orange County Post. And so, I don't know, I feel like I'm in a competition with my brother. Like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
He does it better than I can. But, whatever, it's not a competition. But on the showing you, just because he can do something, I can do it too. That
Sure.
helmet will give me helmet hair. At least I'm better looking than that actor who was in the new Star Trek movie, new Star Wars movies. He was horrible. But, it's just showing you, just because you're labeled something doesn't mean it's going to dictate who you are and who you're going to be. You should prove them out something. But
yeah, I agree.
No, absolutely. And the next question I was going to ask you, I know we're going overtime, but
Okay,
I'm
sure.
having a lot of fun with you. The last question I was going to ask you, I don't know if I mentioned it the first time. Social media. Can social media make you or break you?
I think it's something that I don't take as seriously as I should. I think it can make or break you. I have been in situations with trying to get a job, and then for some reason they ask, how many followers do you have on Twitter or Instagram? I'm like, pardon? So a lot of productions and networks and that kind of stuff I've been finding out are looking for people that are coming with an audience already. And to me, it's like, so it's not about talent. Yeah. So I think it can make you, but I find it very offensive as an actual actor to find out that somebody's a YouTube sensation and now they've been given a deal on Netflix or something. I'm like, what? So that bothers me. I think that people should take, and this is sort of my, maybe it's my Thanksgiving, what do they call it, like the New Year's resolutions? My Thanksgiving resolution that I'm going to start focusing a little bit more on my social media. I think you're doing great with having this as your regular show. My podcast with Eileen, we're doing it Monday. We come hell or high water, we try to get that Monday episode out every Monday. But there are ways of bumping up and taking the time to spend the time. And I'm also very conscious because I know it can break you. As you said, it can make you and it can break you. I see a lot of people on social media really hammering their political views, religious views, and that kind of stuff gets fights going, gets you losing friends. I keep it I'm about entertainment. So I find that unless something's really powerful, I will share it, but I won't say, this bothers me or I hate this person and starting to invite people to like certain things. I don't want any kind of controversy. I'm trying to focus more that this is pure entertainment. So I think it can make you and break you at the same time. So I like to tell people to be very careful. But people that don't have Facebook, don't have a website, don't have any of that kind of stuff, I'm still like, I think you still kind of need it in this day and age. That's where everything's going. We want to link to all of these things. It's not going anywhere. Social media is not going anywhere. So we just have to be more cautious and careful about what we put up there.
No, I agree with you. Now, I do have a couple questions very off the air. About wrapping up, how can people follow you on social media? Are you on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Stage 32? Are you on any websites that I didn't mention?
I'm pretty much on all of them. You could find me probably on everything. The main ones I really love people to go to is my Instagram page, and that is at comedian Stephanie Herrera, and that's HERRERA. At comedian Stephanie Herrera is my Instagram post. I am on Facebook. If you just look up pages, Stephanie Herrera is a page that I have up, a fan page, always liking more likes on there. And I usually tell people if I am touring a show or anything, or any of the sort of the new shows that are coming out. I just did a web series. I forgot. That's another thing I just did that's exciting. What am I thinking? A really cool web series that is going to be on Out TV, which is the gay network. I play a mother of a Greek.
If I may, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did you
Sure.
say game or gay?
Gay television. It's like a station that's geared towards more gay, transsexual, that kind of stuff. It's really like a fun station, but it's for gay. But it was a role that I've been dying to play, which is a Greek, because I look very Italian and Greek. I'm not, but I look it, so I'm like, why aren't I Italian mother? Why? So I got cast as a Greek mother of a young boy who lives in downtown Toronto. He's gay, and he has to come home, and we're trying to accept him for being gay. So there's a lot of touching moments. There's very funny moments because we can't relate to him because we don't understand. Like, why don't you find a nice girl? Kind of thing. We're all about that. And it's very funny. So that's going to be on Out TV, which is one of the bigger networks. So it's been wonderful. So I usually throw all that stuff up on my Facebook page to let people know. So those are the big ones. But I'm on LinkedIn, Stage 32. I think I still have an account. It's one of those. But Instagram and Facebook, I'd love people to follow me. Definitely on Instagram, because I always like to put very funny pictures and videos up. A lot of them of my kids too, doing funny things too. So just keeping it light.
No, absolutely. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But my last thing I want to run past you is when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show. And this is a 2-year follow-up. And by the way, I do undo the quotes, whereas the recommendations, and you end the video for my commercial break. So I just want to say thank you for that. And so the quote is, when I first doing the second interview, do you think it's better than the first one? And would you recommend this to people? Like, how do you feel?
Sure. You want me to do it right now? Like a little testimony right now?
Well, we can do that after, but I'm just mean overall,
I think it's great. It's always nice to talk to you, Keith. I'm a huge supporter of what you do. So yeah, I think the second one, I don't know if it's better, because the first one, it was kind of cool because we got to know each other, and and now it's, because it's a recap, it's like just calling an old friend. So they're different. I wouldn't say one is better. It's just, it's nice now it's catching up.
Well, stay tuned to the third one. We go back to the basics.
That's right.
But stay tuned. I do have a couple questions off the air, so don't run away.
Okay.
It was a real honor privilege to catch up with you, and I'm looking forward to part 3 down the road.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much, sir, and thank you for having me part of your Halloween special of the. I can't even get my head in.
No, absolutely. And while on the subject, this whole month is Halloween themed, so every single person who I interviewed for the whole month of October can dress up or dress down, whatever the hell they want to do.
Love it.